Day 1. Welcome to the Motor City Riverwalk. Downtown delights. The flight from Birmingham, Alabama to Detroit Metropolitan Airport was short. But Jeff and Judy felt like they had landed in a whole new world. The breeze off the Great Lakes, the mix of classic architecture and fresh murals. Detroit was alive. After checking into their downtown hotel, the couple boarded a bright red hop-on hop-off tour bus to get a lay of the land. They sat on the upper deck, Jeff snapping photos while Judy narrated everything like a travel show host. Their first stop, the Detroit Riverwalk, where joggers, bikers, and kids on scooters passed by scenic views of Canada just across the water.
Jeff leaned on the railing. We're closer to Toronto than we are to Tuscaloosa right now.
They strolled past fountains, public art, and food vendors, sharing a cup of frozen custard and admiring a waterfront sculpture.
At one point, a squirrel chased Judy for a crumb. That squirrel had no fear, she laughed.
Dinner that night was at Greektown, where the scent of garlic, lemon, and grilled meats filled the air. They shared lamb gyros, listened to live music, and toasted with lemonade to the start of their Motor City escape. Day 2. Museums, Motown, and motor cars. Day 2 was all about culture. First stop, the legendary Detroit Institute of Arts.
Judy gasped upon seeing Diego Rivera's Detroit industry murals, spanning entire walls with scenes of workers and machines. This tells the whole story of the city, she whispered.
They wandered through galleries of African art, Renaissance paintings, and modern sculptures. Jeff lingered by a quiet Monet.
Reminds me of your garden back home, he said with a smile.
After lunch at a soul food cafe, catfish and collard greens of course, they headed to the Motown Museum, Hitsville, USA.
Standing in the original recording studio, Jeff hummed "My Girl" while Judy did a little spin.
This is holy ground, she whispered, brushing her hand over the piano where Stevie Wonder once played.
Their guide showed them photos of Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and Smokey Robinson, each framed in soundproof walls. The atmosphere felt like pure rhythm. To finish the day, they visited the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation in nearby Dearborn.
Jeff, a lifelong car enthusiast, lit up beside every vintage Ford, Mustang, and Model T. Babe, Judy teased, if you start naming engine specs, I'm calling a tour guide.
Day 3. Belle Isle, African beadwork, and jazz on the street. They started the day with a scenic drive across the MacArthur Bridge to Belle Isle Park, a green oasis in the Detroit River. It felt like another world, peaceful, lush, and timeless. They visited the Belle Isle Aquarium, North America's oldest, where Jeff loved the arched ceilings and Judy fell in love with the electric blue jellyfish. Next, they wandered into the Anna Scripps Whitcomb Conservatory, marveling at tropical plants and orchids in the Victorian greenhouse. A short walk led them to the Dawson Great Lakes Museum, where ship models and maritime stories brought the history of the Great Lakes alive.
Judy posed next to an old captain's wheel. I am the captain now, she joked. Back in town, they explored the Charles H.
Wright Museum of African American History, one of the largest of its kind in the world. The stunning exhibit on African beadwork fascinated Judy, while Jeff was moved by the detailed civil rights timeline. That evening, they caught a live jazz performance in Campus Martius Park, where local musicians lit up the warm night. With fairy lights overhead, Judy convinced Jeff to dance slowly, gently, to the sound of a saxophone. Day 4. Eastern Market. Farewells. Fried chicken with a story. Their last day began with the bustling energy of Eastern Market, Detroit's historic public market. Flowers, spices, fresh peaches, and street art surrounded them.
They sampled everything. Mini donuts, handmade cheese, and a hot sauce so spicy Jeff almost lost his voice. This is not medium, he coughed, reaching for a lemonade.
They browsed stalls with African textiles, handmade soaps, and local crafts. Judy picked out a canvas painting of the Detroit skyline to hang in their dining room back home. Before leaving, they had lunch at a locally famous fried chicken joint with a line out the door. Inside, the cook greeted them like family and told stories about Aretha Franklin once ordering takeout there.
As they sat with their crispy wings, coleslaw, and sweet tea, Jeff looked at Judy and smiled. This city's got soul, he said.
Heading home with heart, soul. At the airport, they looked back on 4 days packed with history, rhythm, flavor, and laughter. Detroit had surprised them not just with its comeback spirit, but with its humanity. In murals, melodies, museums, and even midnight jazz, they found beauty, resilience, and connection.
Judy rested her head on Jeff's shoulder. We didn't just visit Detroit, she said. We felt it.
And with a suitcase full of souvenirs and a heart full of stories, they boarded the flight back to Alabama, already